I have another hive that I used for OTS. So again, 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, we removed the queen from this hive. We did OTS notching on a number of frames. A week after that, we took those frames out, and each one we made a nuke from those, and those are now sitting in my mating yard. Once we had taken most of the resources from this hive, I took the original queen. The original queen I had moved aside into a nuke, and took that original queen back with her brood frames, etc., back into here. So hopefully she survived all that, and she's laying. This hive actually looks pretty good. Warm day, so there's a lot of foragers out, so my populations maybe look a little sparse, but these colonies are looking really good, I think. So here we also have a little bit of new comb being drawn. Push all my frames over that way. Be careful, because there's a lot of new honeycomb over there too. I don't want to mash too many bees. There's no brace comb here, so I'm going to be brave and go for frame number 1. So very careful. The queens are laying very far out in the hive right now, so I don't want to mash queens. It is not on my list of objectives. I'm going to set that one aside. I didn't really look for the queen that hard, but she really shouldn't be on there. That's a honey frame. It's all nectar and honey. So this is all nectar there, and all nectar there. Queens usually don't hang out on frames like that. Okay, so here's another one of my drone frames. You get a little better idea here of how these are put together. I see no eggs on that. I see no eggs on that, so I don't expect the queen to be here either. So you can see how that's drawn with foundation in this part, worker size, and then they're drawing the drone cells here. So this is interesting. It's hard for me to see eggs in those little cell, those foundationless, but I do see eggs. So she has laid drones in here, which is good. If we're going to do any queen rearing, we need the fellas. So what that also tells me is this hive is optimistic. They're feeling good. They've got resources, plenty, because drones are very resource intensive. Just do a little cleanup while I'm sitting here talking. So the fact that they're raising drones is a very good sign for the colony's strength and health. That's natural selection, right? Weak colonies don't raise drones, so those genes don't propagate. So this has pollen and honey and nectar and brood and pollen on this side. So that is definitely the keeper. I'm going to go ahead and move that to the outside right now. So that's where I'm going to want it eventually, I'm sure. Clean that a bit. Clean this. That brace comb to me is just bee killers is what it is. Try not to kill bees doing it, but always somebody trying to get a hold of me. It's a real spotty frame. Not really what you like to see, but it is what it is. So the queen could be on here. I'm gonna get one of my empties. I'll slide that right in here beside this one. Build it as I go. Drive them down off that top bar so I can clean it. Queen hives are so much easier to manage. I see a larva that's 4 or 5 days old. I'm looking for young larvae and or eggs. I have my sunglasses on, so that makes it far more difficult. If my queen died for some reason, then that brood would start to become spotty like that. As it emerged, it wouldn't be laid up again. I'm seeing very young larvae, so I'm not expecting the queen to have vanished for any reason. I think she's just laying farther out. Oh yeah, that's very young. I don't think I could see eggs even if they were there. So we've got a cup here on the bottom. Nothing in it. Good. There's a bunch of drones here regardless. Any vertical cell I'll call a cup. I just get rid of them because it just saves me another day or two, because they'll rebuild them. Get rid of those. And I'm going to scrape that off. These plastic frames seem to stay a little cleaner than the wood ones. They don't have as much, like on the side, the wood one is quite broad. These plastic ones are very, very thin on the side. So I think that really helps keep them clean. And the end bars too, they don't seem to build up between the end bars, between the frames. Again, very young larvae. Wish I'd have marked these queens when I found them the first time, but I didn't. Another cup. Sometimes I'll scrape that bottom crap off, but it's early in the year and I don't want to kill all the drones that are pupating in there. I'm not going to put very many empties in here. Maybe one or two. Well, I've already put one, I think. Okay, where is that queen? There's another cup here. Usually find her when I'm not looking for her. There she is. She's a big root beer queen. I can just get this over her. I'll take my glove off for the rest. I'll be very gentle. Get her to go up in it. You can close the door. Again, I don't know what year she is. I haven't been tracking my queens very closely. I'm going to start to, though, since I can mark them myself now. There's something making noise over here. Okay, root beer. Go the right way for Papa. And you'll get a nice yellow dot. And again, this yellow color, that's not meaningful color-wise. It's a nice bright color to see her. Find her next time I need to find her. Come on, don't get on there. Crazy bees. Some workers don't want to let her alone. Okay, so she's in there by herself, and we'll set her there. I don't know if you can see that. Queen in there, the yellow dot. I'm sure glad I discovered that. That's only about the 4th queen I've ever marked. Alright, so back in here. I'm not the guy to work my hives without gloves in. Maybe I'm not gentle enough, maybe I'm not careful enough, maybe I'm not brave enough. But you can choose any of those explanations and I have no problem. I just wear my gloves. Okay, so I have 2 frames out, and I will see what I told you. She was on absolutely the back wall of this hive. Queens are laying far back. So out of space is why. So we're helping with that problem here today. So we'll pull that one out again. Not being careful when I know where the queen is. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but got 50, 100, 200 hives to work. Sometimes it's hard to just go too slow. That's probably why I wear gloves, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put this box. No, not that box. I'm gonna put this box here because that box is my honey frames that I've removed. So these 2 that I've removed, I'll shake. You may hear the bees roaring a little bit. They're worked up, but they also can't smell the queen. She's over here. So we'll see if we can. Maybe should have put her in the bottom, but we'll see if she'll walk right down onto there. There she goes. Down, go down. Go away from the light. There she goes, down in the box. Put the lid on. That takes care of another one.